everyone, welcome back to another great conversation. And before I jump in to even let you know what it is, I just want to ask, who has ever gotten to start over again? And if I have to push it a little further, how many people have got to start over again more than once? I know it's a lot of people because it's something I have experienced. It's like a human thing that you program your life and then something happens, the unexpected happen. And I don't think it's a good feeling, but then who else should I have this conversation with than my husband? A person that I know has had to start over a couple of times more than once. It's one thing to start once or to get to do over again once, but when it has to be twice or 3 or 4 times, I don't know how it feels. And the man is here all by himself to tell us his story. Babe, welcome back.
Thank you for welcoming me back. I really appreciate it. And so where do you want me to start from?
Starting over, like you've done this more than once. Some that we went through together, but others that I wasn't there. But how was it having to build and then losing, and then you have to go back to scratch again?
I would say it's been a very difficult ride. Like, just imagine, in Norway, I got into photography, and I started getting people started knowing me. I started getting booked, and I was enjoying it. And then all of a sudden, I got into the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And since I never had papers, the police arrested me and they sent me back home. I mean, no clothes, nothing, just with what I was wearing on, nothing, no camera, no equipment, nothing. And I was sent back home. So coming back home empty-handed, and in Africa, it's a shame to come back without a container, without a car.
Yeah.
You know how we
all know when you travel out, I can go buy a plot because I know you have to send monies for me to build.
Yes.
We are expecting you come back loaded. Then there you were coming back
empty-handed, nothing. I mean, I met my mom at the airport, and I hadn't seen my mom, and my auntie was there, so I hadn't seen them for like 6 years. And when I just met them, the crazy thing is that I had not even, my hair was afro, was all grown up, my chin, I couldn't shave, so I came back, I was looking like one small bin Laden. So they saw me, and the only thing that happened was I just started crying.
Yeah.
I was crying hysterically. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what came over me.
Yeah.
I was just so happy to see them again after this long time. So coming back, and friends are waiting for me, family's waiting for me. What did you bring for us? I remember I was at a barbering studio trying to cut my hair that had grown for a very long time. And the guy was asking me, so what did you bring? I said nothing. The guy was like, what?
I know.
How can you come back empty-handed? I was like, yeah, I know. And the crazy thing is this, right? Before coming back, I stumbled upon the law of attraction, and which talks about, you can become anything you want to be. So it gave me a lot of reassurance that all wasn't lost.
Oh, okay.
So I know people who commit suicide. I know a lot of people who come back commit suicide. Some people even come back, they don't even come back to their home city.
Yeah.
I came back to my home city, to my home.
So you knew that you might have lost clients, you might have lost money, you might have lost reputation, but you still had you, and with you, you can gain back everything.
That's right. Right. And that was the thing that gave me the push. Like, it gave me the heart to endure the insults, the humiliation that came with it. And when I got back, my parents told me that they wanted me to go and write a concours. It's kind of like an exam so I can get a job. And I said, no, I don't want to do it. I want to continue photography. And they looked at me and they said, man, you're crazy.
And that's one thing when it comes to starting over. Because most of it could be a job, it could be a career that you started and then everything crashes. And you have to deal with the shame. You have to deal with answering questions from people that knew that's what you were doing. Or like, for example, you traveled and you are coming back, you have to answer to friends, to family about what you have been able to do for all the 6 years. You in Europe for 6 years, right?
Years, yeah.
So you have to deal with all of that, but then there you were. Thank God for the law of attraction. You had to, it gave you the momentum, it gave you the courage to know that I still have me, and I can.
Yeah, and that was very important because like I remember when they wanted me to go for the exam, I said no, I want to continue photography. So my parents, they didn't believe in that I was, because like photography in Africa or in Cameroon,
especially at that time,
you understand, it sounded like how can you professional, how can you make money from photography?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, watch me. So what I did was, my neighbor friend, she had a small compact camera.
Okay.
So I borrowed it. This is like the camera that when people go on vacation, I don't know, when people go on vacation, tourists, they always have it. Those small cameras. So I took it, I borrowed it from her. I took some pictures of my little sister, and then I went to Photoshop, edited the pictures, and then I posted it online.
Oh.
So when I posted it online, people started calling my dad like, have you seen the pictures that Eric took? I was like, which pictures? Then he called me, come show me the pictures. I showed him. So he said, can you also take a picture of me? I took it, edited it. He loved it. My mom loved it too. My twin sister sent her wedding pictures. I edited.
You edited them.
And that alone, it was a very tough path to get to that point. You know, but I had to sustain it because of what I knew, what was in me. Because I knew that I was going to become greater than what I was at that moment.
Yeah.
So that's how I was able to transcend that period. It was a very tough period, trust me.
I know, I can imagine. Okay, so you came back from Europe. You had to start all over again from scratch, getting cameras, and then boom, now you got the camera. What next?
Well, the camera was, how can I put it? When I got the camera, right, that was when, during that time I met you.
Yeah.
The love of my life. So,
I came into the picture, guys.
She stepped in the scene.
I stepped in.
Yeah, she joined the WhatsApp group. So we started, so during that time we got married, you know, and then from there I was going out, I was shooting for other photographers, and then people started knowing me, people started liking me, or people started requesting me for personal shoots, personal weddings, and I was making a name for myself.
Yeah,
you know?
I remember we started doing photography, like just a conversation. Yeah, we sat in the room and was like, okay, now we want to make want to start a company, and it's Dane Culture actually. It's Dane Culture that has Dane photography, Dane makeover, and every other Dane will come out of that. And we just sat and we're like, okay, so what is it? And maybe that's how did we even come about the name Dane, like divine design. We said our union was divinely designed by God. Yeah. So we are going to combine the two together to create Dane, and that's our company. So we started there, and I remember you taking pictures, like shooting with other photographers, begging for free shoots gigs, and everything. To shoot people
for free because nobody knew me.
Nobody knew you. You're starting over. Yeah.
So from there, things were getting, much better. And then the crazy part is when we got married, we were living in a one bedroom apartment, no furniture, like
no furniture,
empty.
Nothing.
You walk in, you talk, and it's echo.
Yeah.
And then from there, we had to struggle to build. And during that time, that was when I told you that you could learn, makeup from YouTube. And that's how you were learning makeup from YouTube. You sit in front of the mirror for hours drawing your brow, and then when your brow is achy, you brought me in, started drawing on my own brow.
Guys.
I mean, it was beautiful. Yeah. And inside all of that struggle, the images that we had in our mind was one of the things that kept us strong. That kept us going. Yeah. And we knew that with God, this was gonna pass.
That's right.
So getting from that point, that was how we acquired some money. We moved into a 3-bedroom apartment. That's from a one bedroom to a 3-bedroom apartment. So that was a serious upgrade for us. Yeah. And then we had Liam, and everything was going good. Yeah. And all of a sudden, we just got up shooting. The crisis started in Cameroon.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a big one.
That was a big one. So you had to start the Europe to to starting a family, and then now you're building a name. Photography was already making a name for itself in Cameroon, and then the crisis hit.
Yeah, the crisis hit. So there was a lot of issues. Photographers were getting into a lot of trouble. So I had to leave everything that we had built to start over again. So that's the second time.
Starting
That's
over.
the second starting over. You know?
That's the second starting over. You had to move to the UAE.
Yes.
I had to leave everything and move back to my in-laws' house.
Yes, like we lost the apartment.
We lost the apartment.
Yeah, that was a kicker. I couldn't believe it. Like after we got married, after we got married, I was like, I'm never coming back home to my parents, like to come and stay, because
you've left home,
you've left
the house, you are independent, you have your family, you have your space, we had equipped the house and everything. Then we had to sell everything, and I moved back to my in-laws' house with all the 3 children.
Yeah. And as crazy as it was, you know, when I came here, the thing is, when I got to UAE, I mean, I just got with my camera, I had my camera, one flashlight,
one on camera flash,
then a trigger and a tripod stand. I don't think I had an umbrella by then.
No, you're not.
So I just got here
with your laptop.
With my laptop, and then I had a tablet, you know, that my twin sister got for me.
Yeah.
So I came, and then the first day when I came, you know, they told me it was a bed space. So I didn't understand what a bed space was, you know.
Yeah, I think we should talk about Dubai, coming to Dubai, what you should know before coming to the UAE. I think that should be another video on its own. Something we are going to get detail into that in another video. Yeah, but then when you came, I remember they told us you are going to pay for your bed, and we thought it was a room.
Yeah, we thought it was kind of a room.
We thought it was a room.
That had some space.
Maybe,
a table and a chair. I was thinking like that to come and sit down and edit.
That's the picture we had in our minds.
Yeah, and when I got here, it wasn't the case.
It wasn't the case.
You know, so nobody knew me, and the plan was to get a job, and then after 2 years, I can cancel the visa, then I can get back into photography. So when I got here, I was very stubborn. I was so stubborn that, you know, I just kept going out looking for people that could shoot for free, you know, and I was taking pictures. And I remember one time somebody had a birthday that evening, and it was going to be like I think it was going to be about she needed the pictures like 11 o'clock. So I was sitting in my space, and I had this table and chair, and where I was sitting was closer to the toilet, so the toilet was full. So they put in acid in the toilet for people to like go out so that the toilet can sink in, you know. So I was sitting there, she was calling me, and she was shouting, you know, at me. And the crazy part is that it was a free shoot, but of course I promised that I gave her my word. So I had to deliver on that. So since I couldn't go because I was left just a couple of hours for her birthday, for the delivery timeline, I had to sit in the
seeing inside the maggots.
Yes, and then I sat with the acid in the air. So it pierces in the eyes. It's like salt is like piercing in the eyes. And I was just cleaning my eyes, and I was editing, cleaning my eyes, and she kept texting, she kept calling, and it was so painful.
Yeah, I remember you calling me. I was sitting in Cameroon, and you called me and told me, babe, it's so bad. I'm like, how bad? You're like, the toilet is full. And I'm like, I'm in Africa. We don't have toilets getting full in this time and age. How could you be having that in the UAE?
Yeah.
And you told me it was so bad, but then you still have to sit there and work that, like, it's that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Thank God I delivered on time. And then from there, people started knowing me. I started charging a little cheaper. And then people started recommending me to other people. And then I started meeting, and then I had a lot of help from friends too. You know, a lot of people helped me there to get to the point where people started calling me. And then from there now, I said, okay, I have to leave this place. So I left, I moved into another room. When I moved into the room, some of the people from the bed space, we had to share
That's
together.
where I came and met you.
That's where you came and met me.
So you had built yourself from bed space, living with about 12 to 14 people in the same room, to sharing a room with your friend, which ended up being 7 persons, because I came and then other people came, and we're 7 of us in that room. But at least you were making progress.
Yes, I was
right?
making progress.
We were making progress. From there.
Yeah, and then from there, we left the room.
We even left the room. We went to another shared room, but it was just the both of us.
Yes, and the crazy part about the shared room is that they call it partition.
They call it partition.
And in a partition, it's a room that they have sectionalized it with plywood.
With plywood.
And
so
then the top part
is empty.
Is empty. So you can actually, because they had to keep it like that so that the AC can flow through. So every time you're making a call, the next
other person is hearing. You're coughing. I remember this day I caught flu.
Yes.
I was coughing and the guy was like, I'm disturbing him. Yeah. I'm like, I'm coughing. I don't want to cough. I'm sick.
That was crazy.
I was like, what? You are blaming me for falling sick?
Yeah, I remember.
But it was that so bad. And then
and then from there we left from them.
We became homeless.
Yeah. That was where something happened in the building. Something happened
in the building and the woman kicked us out.
So she off the electricity and it was
the
in the middle
AC
of the summer.
And everything and it was summer.
Yeah. So we had to pack our things out and we were homeless.
We were homeless for the first time.
Yeah, that was the first time.
Yeah.
And I remember one evening we actually found a place that we were going to move into.
Yeah.
And when we after walking for a couple of hours, then we said, okay, from all these places, let's go back to this other place. So by the time we went back to pay, we had lost the money.
So let me really explain this.
Oh my God. Yeah. That was...
Okay, so this is what happened, right?
Yeah.
We left the partition. The woman sent us out, sent everyone packing, turned off the AC, turned off the internet, everything. There was no electricity, and it's summer. I mean, summer in the UAE, it's bad. It's like intense. We're at the heart of it. So we were homeless, and then a friend said we could come share her apartment, and then we share bills and everything. We finally decided to spend the night with her. She gave us two options. We can be with her and share the bills, or we just spend the night and then look for another place to go to. And we spent the night there, went out for work, came back, and then I was holding all of the money.
Yeah.
I was holding all of the money, and bet you this was not just our money. We had called home for my mother-in-law to send money. Friends had helped. Like, we have gathered literally everything that we had to go pay that room to start all over again. And then on going back to where the woman had chased us, she had taken our bed and our belongings. So we just left everything and just came. Thank God, thankfully, our friend had a bed. So she had, it was an apartment, so it was equipped. We just had to move in with our stuffs.
Yeah.
Now, when we found the place, I was so tired. It was 2 a.m. in the morning. So I sat there with my purse sitting on the floor, and I left the purse at the side. And then when it was time to pay, we had to go downstairs to pay to the landlord. And I woke up and left the purse
with the money.
And
the building never had.
CCTV in the corridor because we were sitting outside. I was sitting outside the corridor. When I discovered that purse was not there, it felt like let the grounds
swallow somebody else.
Let the grounds open and let's just die because the pain. So the monies, everything
was gone. So we had to go back
held
to our
each
friend's
other,
place.
cried.
Yeah, cried. Cleaned our tears. And it was so painful.
It was just so painful. We're like, okay, this is it. We'll not shed tears over this. We move on. We'll just act like nothing happened. Yeah, but we cried. We cried. Yes. So then at that time, I had gotten a job. I had gotten a job with a large company.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to start 2 or 3 days. And we just stayed with our friends, and then I started work 1 week after. I was told I don't have a driver's license, so I cannot continue, and that job was terminated.
Yeah, that was crazy. That
was another knock, another hit. So it's like, how much can one take?
That's the thing.
It's like, how much can one take? And then moving forward.
Yeah, then from there, I think we moved to. We had I think we moved to, was it to a room?
Yeah, we moved to a room.
We moved to a room, and then it was much better.
It was much better.
Yeah, and everything was cool.
It was not that cool. It was hard.
Was it the room at Tiger?
Yeah, it was okay.
Oh, yeah.
So after that, we moved into a room. And it was hard. We were
hard.
struggling, but it
wasn't
was better because at least we had a room to
ourselves. For the first time, we're not in a bed space,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not in a partition. That's why I say it was a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had privacy to ourselves, because that's one thing that is very, very expensive to get in the UAE.
Yeah.
Privacy.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I remember the thing I'm talking about privacy is, sometimes you have to decide, do you want to put privacy over your business, or because, like, for example, in a bed space, when I'm talking to a client,
everybody's hearing.
People are shouting, and then the client is like, how am I supposed to give this person this money? The
Yeah.
environment is noisy. So it came to a point that we had to choose privacy over comfort. You understand?
Yeah.
So we had to find a way to get a room so that we can stay there, work in silence.
And take care of the business.
Take care of the business and talk to the clients.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was talking on the phone, and then I gave a price to the client, and then the other guy in the partition told me that the money was small. I was like, whoa. So you can imagine,
Yeah.
So I felt that was a little bit better. Yeah, it was.
So that's where we met the person that did us dirty.
Yeah. Oh my God. That story, we're gonna even talk about that story now, but it was crazy. We'll talk about that story another time if we
want to. So, yeah, we got a job. Thought that it was a job, but it was a scam.
So we got into a lot of trouble.
Everything again.
Like we lost our clothes. We lost everything. Our passports were.
It's not even funny.
It was worse.
We lost our
passports.
we literally almost lost ourselves, and the bad part about it is we did not just lose everything. We got into
trouble.
We got into debt.
They even put was it a ban or something on us that we couldn't leave the country because the person got us into trouble, and then they had to take our passports.
They had to take our passports.
So we lost everything. So that I remember that night when we left, we came to this park in DIFC. And then we sat down. We had just one jacket,
and it was winter.
It was so cold. So we didn't have any place to go. Even if we wanted to go to our friend's place, we didn't have money
transportation
to pay transport. And then even if we wanted to use the buses were not working at that time. It was closed. The metro was closed. Everything. So we were stuck. So we were sitting there in the park. It was cold. So she's gonna wear the jacket for some minutes, get a little bit warmer, send the jacket to me. I wear it, get a little bit warmer, send it back. So until morning. I mean, that was that's like the second time being homeless, right?
Yes, that's the second time.
I'm being homeless, So from there, we started calling for help from our friends, from our relatives.
My mom,
your mom, my mom, and then they helped us out, and then
paid.
Yeah.
Got our passports, and then decided to just leave everything, go back home and rest.
Yes, and that's when I went home to see my kid. I went home to see our kids, and then you came after me. I mean, that story is for another day, but everything was lost.
Yeah.
So I left, went home, she came, met me.
And on coming, I was given a 1-year ban.
A 1-year ban.
So you had to come back by yourself.
And we're supposed to come back together.
Yes.
But since you got a ban,
you
come back
and
alone.
we're in debt, you had to come alone. And guess where he went back to? Bed space.
I walked right in.
You went back to bed
I was like,
space.
okay, I need to get myself comfortable. I've been here before, and it's not good, but I just have to make it work. And the crazy thing is that the stuffs that we had from the room, I had to take it with me to the bed space. So my bed that I was sleeping on a bunk bed, and on the bunk bed, the things that I had packed from the other room, I put them on the bed. So I didn't have space to sleep on the bed. So it made it such a way that I had to sit down, and then I'll be editing all night. I mean, the people in the bed space, when they wake up in the morning, I'll say good morning. They say good morning. They go to work, come back, good night, good night.
Yeah.
They get up in the morning, good morning. They never, it was just one time, one of the people saw me sleeping, took a picture of me and sent it to my wife, to you, and said, wow, since I came to Dubai, I've never seen this guy sleep. This is the first time that
I've seen him sleeping.
So, I mean, it was crazy. Yeah. And the thing is, I just had to find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
I had to find a way, you know. And from there, things started getting a little bit better. And that was in Corona, when things were just wow. And I remember I was almost thinking about changing my career. I told you, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, people started calling me. My phone started ringing. People started writing to me on Instagram. I need you. And it was in the heart of Corona with all the shutdowns, all the lockdowns. And I was shooting every day.
Yeah.
I started shooting almost every day. I would say in one week, I could shoot like maybe 5-6 times in a week. Maybe twice in a day.
Yeah.
You know? And then things started kicking up. Things started getting better. And then I remembered, I told you about the situation. And then I said I wanted to move from the bed space to a room, you know. And then the crazy thing is, I didn't just go up to the room. I went to a partition first.
Like you went through the route. You went through the route that you did before.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you started, you built, and then you crash, and then come and start back again, taking those steps.
Yeah. Went back to the partition, from a bed space to the partition. From the partition, I moved into a room.
When I had to come again.
And then that's when you had to come again.
I had to come.
And then when you came, you met me, you saw that things were like getting more better.
Building.
And then we started planning, strategizing. Okay, like how do we move from this place to the next level of our lives? And that's how we came across this 2-bedroom apartment. And we were like, we love this place. We need to move to this place. You know, we started saving up. I mean, like, the saving up issue is so interesting.
We'll talk about finance.
Yeah, we'll talk about
that another day. But then just having to go through life, situations happen, and then you the truth is, everyone loves a good comeback, except you are not the one in it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Everyone loves the happily ever after, but then you don't know the process that one has to go through, the emotional, the psychological pain, the draining of the process of starting all over again. And whether it's a breakup, a divorce, a relationship, the loss of a loved one, you know, having to accept that this happened, and then you have to pick up yourself to start back again. It's crazy. It's painful. It's something no one sees coming.
No.
You go through life, you invest in a relationship, then bam, break up. You get into a marriage knowing this is your forever person, then you hit the rock bottom and now you have to divorce. It feels like you've wasted your time, you've wasted your energy, you've wasted your resources. It always feels like so much time has been wasted. But then I always see circumstances as an opportunity, a gift, right? To do it all over again, and to, it's that do over. Maybe you do something a little better than before.
That's true.
Right?
I mean,
because
some experience.
Each time you started over, was it the same?
No, it wasn't the same. Like, for example, when I got here, it was about Instagram. So I was like, because in Cameroon, we mostly using Facebook. So I created an Instagram account. I started talking to people, started talking to clients. You know, I might talk to them and I can get one response in a month.
Yeah.
That was crazy. And then things started getting better. You understand? So from there, I started understanding how to use Instagram, how to use hashtags. These are things that I never knew back.
Yeah.
So starting over again from afresh, I really had this knowledge, this experience, which I brought it now to my starting over.
Yeah. So starting over, there's beauty in starting over, because once you, I don't want to say start over, I want to say do over.
Yes.
Right.
That's a better word.
The beauty about this is you are not starting from scratch. You are starting with experience.
That's right.
You are starting with all of the things that you've learned before you fell. So you are holding on to those things to climb back up. But then it's easier said than done. right? It's
That's
easy
true.
to stand up and tell a person, people always tell you, you can build your life back, you can pick up the pieces of your life and just do whatever at whatever time in your life. You just have to make that decision. It's not easy.
No, it's not.
Whether it be something that you're passionate about, whether it be something that a business or a relationship or the loss of a loved one. I remember when my dad passed, it felt like I was never gonna smile again. Nothing was funny.
Yeah.
So you have to get to that place where you look at the situation and ask, what can I make out of this?
That's right.
And how can I pick myself up? And you have to have something, like you have to have like a method to help you take you from 0 to 1 to giving those baby steps. And that's why I ask you, how did you get to that space of saying that I failed. I might have failed in Europe, but I can pick up the pieces of my life and go back to Cameroon and build from scratch. Then you build, and then you found yourself again in Dubai, starting all over again. And then you build, and then you crash. So how do you go through that pain of not saying that, okay, this is it, I'm done, I'm not doing this again, I'm just going to stay here because maybe if I do it again I'll fail because I don't want to go through that embarrassment. How did you get to pick yourself up and start all over again?
Yeah, well, the thing is, when I came here and I had to start from scratch and then losing everything to starting it from scratch, well, for me, I just believe that this was the only way that I could survive. I tried to get a job and it didn't work for me, so I had to find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
Because I believe that in this thing that I'm doing, there is somebody out there that wants this service. There is somebody out there that wants this kind of images.
Yeah.
There's somebody that's looking for somebody that can tell their story like this. So I, of course, had to accept that this is it. This is real. I've lost everything. I have to start again from scratch. It was very painful. They were nights that I cried. You understand? When I spoke with you, told that everything is gone. You understand? But after that, I had to dry my tears.
Yeah.
As painful as it was, I just had to face the truth that I have to start from scratch.
The truth and acceptance.
Yes.
Because a lot of the times I've discovered that people find it hard to move past that situation because they cannot accept it.
Yes.
They don't want to get to that place where they say, okay, this relationship is not working.
No. People don't like that.
Or, yeah, I failed in this business, so let me pick up the pieces of myself and start all over again. They live in denial.
Yes.
They live in denial. They don't want to say, I lost my glory. Let me start building another story. So one thing is, when you accept that this is your truth, this is the situation, but then I'm accepting this situation and then finding a way to move forward. I think it's a very good thing.
Yes, it is.
It's a good place to start it.
And the thing is, yeah, you can grieve, you can cry, you can mourn, but don't stay there for too long.
That's right.
That's the problem that a lot of people face when they grieve for too long, And then talking about past glories, the good old days.
Yeah, the good
back
old
in our days.
I remember when I used to be this.
Yeah.
You keep seeing yourself in that successful businessman.
Yeah.
And then not knowing that that's not where you are. It might still hold on to that picture though, but then accept the fact that this particular business failed.
Yes.
So what do? I find a way to start over again.
Yeah.
Circumstances are a gift. And when you say a gift, someone, it's not a good gift, Sha, because no one wants that failure to say that failure is a gift. But then the truth is, when we look at our lives and everything that we've had to go through, 3/4 of the times, if I ask you, would you want to do it again? Would you want to change the story? Would you want it any different? No. Because it morphed you into this person that you are.
That's true.
Character was built. Experience was built. So you will not deny that. So it's also a gift. It led you to this place. I remember when we just got married, we had this picture, right, of the kind of house we want to live in.
Yeah.
We had this picture of the kind of life we want to be out of the country with our children. And we, even though we had that picture, we did not know how.
We didn't know how.
But we just knew we had to go, we had to move, we had to keep moving.
We had to take the leap of faith.
We had to take the leap of faith.
Yeah.
So one thing that each time I fall, I know that I am falling, I just have to find a way to fall forward.
Yeah.
Or if no matter how I fall, I don't lose sight of that bigger picture.
Yes.
So I still hold on to that picture, and I know whatever thing is happening here, I still have a journey to go to take me to this place that I want to be.
That's very important.
So falling should not make you lose sight of the big picture.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. I mean, if that was the case, I wouldn't have been here.
You wouldn't have been here.
No.
You knew you had to give something to your family. You knew your children deserve a better life.
Yeah.
And if we need that, or if that is the picture you have for yourself, why stay in that relationship and suffer? Why not mourn and move on?
Yeah.
And go for that big picture.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why, to me, I call it a gift. And as they spell in GIFT, the G is to grieve. Because a lot of the times we want to sweep our feelings off the table. The feeling of failure is not a good feeling.
No, it's not. And it's real.
It's real. That happened. Loss is not a good feeling.
No, it's not.
So you cannot say, when you lose a loved one, you just be like, no, it's okay, she died, let me move forward. No.
When you lose a job or
you lose a job, a relationship, a business,
shake it off,
you shake it off. No, and people just tell you, no, it's okay, just
be tough.
Be tough, No, the G for me is grieve.
Yeah.
Spend time and grieve.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times that emotion, if it's not expressed,
It's
is going to convert into something
else.
So grieve. If you have to cry, cry. If you want to take out some time and mourn. Because that is real.
Yeah.
It happened. You lose time, you lose money, your emotions were in it. Grieve. Accept it, and it's hurtful.
Yeah.
So after grieving, I go to insights. What's here for me?
Wow.
Right? All of these things, what's here for me? And I said, life is not happening to you. Life is happening for you. So why did this happen to me? You are not looking for reasons, but you are just looking for what's the light in this dark tunnel. Yeah. What's the message? Right? What's the takeaway from this situation?
Yeah.
Because if you do a business and the business crumbles, you don't just move to the next business.
No.
One thing you sit and ask, how did the business fail?
Yeah.
What can I learn from this failure? Was it my strategy? Right? Was it the product?
Yeah.
What was it? What can I learn from this situation? Even in relationships, even the loss of a loved one. I remember one of the biggest message I got from my dad's passing was, Zita, go out and live your life. Because I kept thinking, did he live full?
Yeah, you kept asking that.
I kept asking that question, did he live full? And then it was a wake-up call for me. Zita, if you were to die today, are you dying empty or you're dying full with everything that you still have inside of you? Have you traveled? Have you done the things you said you would do? Have you expressed yourself the way you want to be expressed? Right? You want to express yourself. So you look for the insights. What's here for me? And then the third thing is forgiveness.
Oh, forgiveness.
That's where the healing comes. Right? It could be a situation. It could be yourself. It could be another person. And when we say forgiveness, it's not because the person, if it's someone that hurt you or someone that left you, a relationship that failed, whether you caused it or another person, you have to heal from that situation.
Yeah.
Because most often, if you've been on this channel, I sing about healing.
Yeah.
It's something that we should take serious, because it
It's
creeps, one thing creeps into other things of our lives, other aspects of our lives.
Yeah.
And if you carry the pain of a previous relationship into a new one,
It creates a ripple effect.
it creates a ripple effect.
Yeah.
So every situation, before you leave it to start over or do a redo, heal, forgive the situation. If it's the person, forgive the person. If it's yourself, heal, forgive yourself. That I might have played a part in it. Because there's no blame game. You cannot say it just happened. It might not be your fault, but just heal from that situation. Forgive everything and everyone that needs to be forgiven, yourself inclusive. Then it takes you to T, the truth of the matter. Do you know why a lot of the times we stand still and not be able to move? Because we tell ourselves a lot of lies, or we believe a lot of lies. I remember when I was pregnant in high school. Everyone said, your life has ended. Is that true?
No.
If you divorce, your life has ended. No one will ever marry you. You can never be happy. You will never be happy again. Is that true?
No.
If your business crumbles, can you never stand again? Is that true?
It's not true.
If you fall, you cannot wake up. Is that true?
No.
So what is the truth? Teenage pregnancy does not mean life has come to an end.
No.
The truth is, even if you fail in business, you have not failed in life.
That's right.
The truth is, even if you fail today, you still have hope. You still have breath in you.
You're still alive.
You still have opportunities to make it right.
Yeah.
So
Still have resources.
that voice in your head that is telling you this is the end, that's not the truth.
No.
You have to come to terms with the truth of when there is life, there is hope. As much as you still have breath in your lungs, there is hope.
Yeah.
So you move from grief to insights to forgiveness, and then you tell yourself the truth. That way you can, it propels you, it takes you to that place of, now I want to move on to the next thing. Now I want to wake up and go out and live my life. I might have lost a loved one. I might have fallen in business. I might feel like a failure. This is a career that I was so excited about, and now I failed. Is that the truth of the matter is, you have not failed in life.
No, you don't feel.
The fact that you failed in relationship doesn't mean you failed in life. The fact that you failed in a career doesn't mean you failed in life. The fact that you failed once doesn't mean your life has come to an end.
Yeah, and the whole thing about failure is that people look at failure like a bad thing. Meanwhile, failure, if you look at it, if you look at it from a healthy standpoint, you see that you just learn more lessons.
It's a tool.
You understand? It's a tool. So it depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
So don't back yourself in the corner and then just quit and say that since I didn't do this thing or I did it in this way, it didn't work out. It means that I can't do it again.
Do it again.
I mean, guys, I've done this how many times? And I'm still doing it.
Yeah, now you do it even better.
Yeah, I even do it even better. Before, I used to take so long to get a client or to edit pictures that I would lose clients because I was slow.
Yeah.
Now sometimes I even outsource.
Yeah.
My editing now is faster. So these are the things that came with me sticking to believing in myself, believing in this thing that it was gonna work.
Yeah.
Come rain, come shine.
Yeah.
So if I had allowed it, then maybe I know somebody who came here and then they sold their camera because they couldn't, do photography. And then they saw me doing photography and they're like, oh my God, and then this guy is like a security or something like that.
Yeah.
And the guy felt like, wow, if you should have just stayed a little bit longer. I mean, thinking about him trying to come back might sound like he's coming from, like from the cave, because he has to start learning all these photography things again to get back on track. So after the experience that you have gotten to that point, your reward is to stick to it and then eat the fruit out of the experience.
You don't want to waste your pain.
You don't want to waste your pain.
I used to tell people, don't waste your pain.
That's
right? Steve Harvey says, if you've gone through, going back is still hell.
Get a reward.
You get a reward for it. Just stick to it and finish.
Yeah.
And don't waste your pain. Because it is painful to build. Not doing anything will be even more painful because you'll not get anything out of not doing anything. But trying again might lead you to something. Is there a guarantee that you will not fail again? No. But is there a possibility that you will succeed? Yes. So take that route.
Yeah.
So for anyone who is going through a situation, whether be it divorce, breakup, failure in business, or career or whatever thing, you are not alone, and we have been there. But
times and again and again.
Cry over it, heal, and move on.
Yeah.
Pick the pieces and move on, because on the other side of life is success. Are the things that you envisioned for yourself. I remember when we saw this house, I was like, I'd always dreamed to live in a house that has a pool.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Now I am here. To someone, it might be like, pool. Yeah, to me it's a big deal.
Big deal, man.
Because I've never seen that, right? Yeah. I grew up swimming in down bush, those streams and all of those things, and then to feel like I'm living in a building that has, I can go to the pool and swim. To me it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like one of my dreams coming to fruition.
Yeah.
And don't lose sight of the big picture.
No.
Don't lose sight of the big picture. The fact that you fail once doesn't mean that that dream that you have has to die with you.
No.
Let the situation die, but let the dream stay alive.
That's right.
Keep your eye on the prize. It will give you the courage, it will give you the strength to keep going.
Yes.
Because definitely you will rip off your labor, your struggle, your sleepless night, your
tears.
pain.
Yeah.
Man,
it will pay off.
It will pay off.
I mean, it's crazy, because at the end of the day, as long as you have yourself and you have God with you, you don't need a lot.
No.
Nowadays, I know that one thing that I think is a big problem nowadays is that we have choice overload. You understand? Yeah. We have so many options that it drowns us, you know, and these options can be a distraction. So many times it is a distraction, you know. So don't make it about the things. Like, for example, when I started photography, I started with just my camera, a flashlight, and then what else again? With a trigger, you know. And I was creating iconic works. I have works that are amazing that I'm like, how did I create those images? You understand? And the thing is, if it was about excuses, I wouldn't have been here.
That's right.
But I just had to keep pushing it. You understand? So remember that the internet is there, YouTube is there. You understand? These platforms are here to help us.
That's right.
Not to take us down.
Yeah.
You know? So use it wisely. It's a tool. It's not your life.
That's right.
There are people that are surviving without the internet and they are fine. They don't even care if the internet goes off or on. There are people that if their phone goes off for 5 seconds, they can get a heart attack.
Yeah.
You know. But if you're using it as a tool, it will even be better for you. Because I taught myself photography. Nobody taught me photography. I taught myself. Watch YouTube videos. You taught yourself on YouTube.
Yeah.
You understand? These are tools there. It's just something that I just thought about now. Like, this is something that can also help in the process. You know, like almost anything that you want to know, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know? So when you think that everything is lost, also think about the resources that are out there waiting for you to springboard.
Yeah. Which is something that we're having a conversation this morning, and you said each time you feel down, the next thing is gratitude.
Gratitude. Oh my God, that's a whole new topic.
Gratitude is something that will help you, because sometimes when I feel like, oh, I've lost this, oh, I don't have this, sometimes just look at what you have.
Yes.
I remember when my dad's limbs were cut off, and he sat one day and he told me, Zita, if someone feels like the worst has happened to me, no, it hasn't, because it has given me the opportunity to really spend time with the people I care about.
Wow.
So we might have been looking at the pain. He is grateful for the time he's spending with the people around, with the people he cares about. So we could talk about the fact that we lost everything in the UAE and now I have to go back home. But when I think about the fact that the worst could have happened,
it could have been worse.
It could have been worse. I still have life. I left healthy. I was alive, I was strong, I was healthy. I still had the opportunity to go meet my children. You still had an opportunity to come back. I had to be grateful for that.
That's
Right? Gratitude is key. When you are grateful for what you have, you spend time being grateful for what you have rather than spend time crying for what you've lost. It will just be like, you know what? I lost this, but I'm grateful I have this. So let me live for what I have than to die for what I lost.
Yeah, that's a very good one.
Right?
Yeah, that's
so why will I sit here and soak myself in sorrow and not go out and live my life? Because maybe there's someone out there, for someone who just went through a divorce, and you are like, no, let me just die. Let me just cry myself to sleep. Maybe nothing is there. But there's someone out there waiting to love you.
That's right.
Or you still have yourself to live. You still have your dreams. Maybe you have children. Wake up and live for what you have.
Yes.
Wake up and live for the things that awaits you ahead, because there is a lot. Your dreams are still waiting. Like, come and make us a reality. Les Brown says, what if on your dying bed, all the dreams that you had to realize come crying on you and be like, so you're about to die, and now we will go down with you. Right? Because you were the ones to bring us to life, and now you just did nothing and you're about to die. So why just drown in pain and give up on life when you still have a lot to live for?
Yeah, this was a lot.
So sometimes it just needs a switch.
And the thing about the gratitude is, like, when you use gratitude, it gives you more energy. Let's say if you're feeling down about a situation, you know, like for me, for example, if maybe I came out from a shoot and then I saw that some of the images didn't turn out well, you know, and then I start feeling like, oh my God, you know, I have to spend all this time to fix it in post-production. So what comes to my mind is, of course, that's the negative energy that's the negative route I'm taking.
Yeah.
I start feeling sad, I start feeling down.
Like,
And then sometimes the computer even starts getting slow. Trust me, like all the things that I want to see that are in that energy starts coming to me. So what I do is I just remind myself, listen, before you never had this computer, before you had a small laptop, it was very slow.
Yeah.
Before you never had this camera that you have now. Before you never had a tablet that is more advanced. Before you never had light. Before you never had this, you never had that.
No.
And then I start getting grateful, and then all of a sudden my energy starts changing, starts shifting.
That's the power
Understand?
of gratitude.
And then I start seeing that the work that I had to do on the picture is nothing.
It's nothing.
It's nothing compared to what I have gained.
Because it's crazy how you start going down that rabbit hole.
Yes.
When you start, the negative energy starts pirating you, like you're just going down and down, and before you know, you're sad.
You're sad.
But gratitude has a way of fueling you,
bringing you
and
back
pumping
up.
you energy, and then boom, you're like, you know what? Let me just.
And if you continue going down in that path, before you discover it, you get so tired, and then you go and sleep.
Yeah.
I used to experience that sometimes, and then when I remember, like, but wait, why didn't I use gratitude? So gratitude is a very, very important ingredient in life. Everybody should
don't lose sight of your gratitude. Guys.
No,
don't.
Like the Bible says that count your blessings.
Count your blessings. You will be shocked at how much you have. You will be shocked at how much you have.
Yeah.
I've seen people who were getting depressed because the worst that could happen to a parent is you lost a child. And now you have 3 children and then you lost one. And then you are just going down and down, and you're like, let me die. And the other 2 are there like, we need you here. Be grateful for us, right? Yeah, so that's just it. So look at the things you have and live for them.
That's right.
Wake up and don't sleep on your dreams. Don't let a death situation go down with every other thing that you can live for. And this was a good one.
Yes.
I'm happy we had this conversation.
Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing me on.
You're welcome. So we are going to be having more of this. Like I said, always. This is our life, and I know we are not in this alone.
No.
We are still thriving. We are still pushing and fighting new battles every day. But then life is like this.
Yeah.
It's not a level. Once it's straight, that means
That's
death.
death.
So have that at the back of your mind. Things are not always gonna be as planned. We are not immune to the things that life is gonna throw at us. But then if you have these things to prepare you for those moments, gratitude, knowing that when it happens, grief, cry over it, forgive yourself and move on, knowing at the back of your mind that you still have a future, a dream that is calling on you. You have so much to live for. It will give you the energy to rise up again and then keep fighting. So we have come to the end of today. If you are not following us on social media, go follow us, Dane Photography, Elysian House International, and Elysian Zita, and we will see you on the next conversation. If you have anything, any question or any topic you want us to talk about, please leave it in the comment section, and I love you guys so much. See you on our next video.